Instagram, I don't know, it's this weird mentality of people where they want their followers to be higher than their following.
Yeah.
And they won't follow you unless they really either know you or really like
Or
what
if
you
you've
do.
not followed them back, they'll
They'll
unfollow you.
On YouTube, if people like you, they are more likely to hit the subscribe button than somebody's likely to hit the follow button on Instagram. YouTube, there are so many accounts that are zero videos. They've not posted anything. They're there just to consume content.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
So hi Janhavi, welcome to So What's Next. Now you have to explain to the people what do you do and why do you do it.
What do I do? So basically, I started off as just being a dancer. I loved dancing, and then I started making videos about it
Right.
and posting it. That's
Right.
how it started. And some of my videos started getting picked up and got a little bit of recognition. So now I'm a content creator. And now I make like dance content, but also other content. And why do I do it is because I love it. I love dancing, so
Like
everything.
just following your passion, making
Yeah.
money out of it, stuff like that.
Money's just coming in a little bit now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
otherwise it was just
I mean, if you're
passion.
sponsoring a trip to Bali through your own money, then yeah, money is a lot.
Little bit,
Yeah. But what was your initial plan before this?
Actually, I knew very well that I don't want to do a 9 to 5. I was doing it. I was working in the marketing field, and I knew eventually I want something of my own.
Huh.
I thought it will be a business, or I wanted a dance studio. I still want a dance studio of my own. So something like that, but I never thought content would be something, because I also think it wasn't a thing until very recently.
Yeah.
I think it really came up in 2020
Very
when
commercial.
Reels came in is when it really blew up.
True.
People were still vlogging and all of that, but it became big very recently, and then I just decided to get on the bandwagon and go ahead with it.
But your
Yeah.
YouTube is significantly higher, dude. Like, I mean,
don't know
compared to
how.
Instagram. And
Yeah.
that's it's not normal.
Yeah.
People's Instagram are much higher and
Higher.
YouTube is very, less.
Yeah, for me, the opposite happened. I think, so I really regretted not acting up on Reels when it came up. I know
Huh.
a lot of people who started creating content right away and they blew up like this.
Yeah.
So when Shorts came, I wanted to be a first mover, and I started posting, I think, a couple of months after Shorts was out. And I think my Shorts really picked up. Like, I don't have many long format videos, but the Shorts started doing really well. And
Right.
it's really strange because even now I had about 20 videos on YouTube and I hit 100K.
Like long format.
No,
Okay,
shorts.
short format.
I had 20 shorts on YouTube when I hit 100K, and I have over 300 videos on Instagram, and I was still at 20K.
Oh.
So it's like
It's very weird,
crazy.
right?
Yeah, it's...
There's this platform that even Reliance is coming up with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, social media. They've not announced anything or something,
Okay.
but Reliance is coming up with a social media platform. Same, similar, copying everything and all.
Basically,
But
different features in one platform.
Like it was
Yeah.
just marketed like Indian app for all this and all. So
Yeah.
you can start with that also.
Good you told me.
Good money, good money.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not public information.
Yeah, I think honestly being a first mover really does have an advantage.
Okay.
And if any new feature comes up, act on it, because at least YouTube, I know, was pushing Shorts. So I feel like mine was one of the channels that did probably get a push, or I don't know if the audience just liked
But
it or what.
right now, tell me this, that so right now everything's very commercialized. Okay,
Yeah.
like I said. And if someone wants to start right now, like let's say dancing only, right now, what can they go do about it? Just posting and all is
Yeah.
there, but again, you have many people who do that already. So what is going to make them different?
I feel like definitely you have to post, and you have to find one thing which is just you. I think that is when
What
something
can it be?
really
For
picks
example?
up. Okay, so I don't know. It can be anything. If you're, say, doing a particular form of dance, there are some people who are, very few people, say, who are doing Indian classical in a certain way, or mixing it and making it semi-classical.
Right.
So when you're doing something that not a lot of people are doing is when I think it picks up better, or you have to be exceptionally good. Like, you have to be someone who's
Dancer.
just doing anything and it's going to do well because you move like that.
Okay.
Or you have to do something that is different from most people if you're starting off now. But mainly I think you have to be consistent, which is something even I do struggle with. But I've seen creators who are consistent and post a dance video and a good dance video every day, then chances
a
of
lot
it
of
being...
people talk about consistency,
It
but
is important.
I've seen that people have taken 6 years of being consistent and reached
Yeah.
let's say 1 million followers, but I've seen also people who are posting only for 1 year and they have
Correct.
not done it like very, very consistently, but still they reach like 1
then
million.
they are probably one of those people who are just really good at what they do,
Right.
or they are
Or-
doing something different.
And they might be using the algorithm also in a way, right? Like YouTube and Instagram algorithms are very different.
Yeah.
So what have you noticed about like YouTube?
So I'm speaking from my experience
Yeah.
because mine was completely different. My
Yeah.
YouTube was a lot faster. I feel, and this is something that I think, on YouTube, if people like you, they are more likely to hit the subscribe button than somebody is likely to hit the follow button on Instagram. Because I think YouTube has a lot of content consumers. Like, there's a lot of people on Instagram making content. Most people, even if you're not making content, but you're posting your own pictures, you have
True.
a presence.
True.
YouTube, there are so many accounts that are 0 videos. They've not posted anything. They're there just to consume content. So if they like you, they will hit subscribe. Whereas on Instagram, I don't know, it's this weird mentality of people where they want their followers to be higher than their following.
Yeah.
And they won't follow you unless they really either know you or really like
Or
what
if
you
you've
do.
not followed them back, they'll unfollow,
they'll unfollow you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get more unfollows on Instagram than I like. My
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
never drops, but my Instagram keeps fluctuating.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's so
people,
weird.
Yeah, and so I think YouTube people really hit the subscribe button faster. The only difference, what I've heard others say, is that YouTube, your video may not reach the audience till you have a certain number of subscribers.
Right.
But if it reaches and people like you, they will hit the subscribe button. At
So-
least that's what
so
I
I
have
think,
noticed.
and I think even YouTube pays you more as well. So for any person, like
Yeah.
there are lesser producers on YouTube compared
Yeah.
to Instagram. Instagram, everyone is producing some or the other content.
Exactly.
YouTube, nobody is producing, but people are consuming a lot of content
Yeah.
on YouTube,
Yeah,
right?
Instagram is very cluttered. There's
Yeah.
content creators. There are so many people who are doing Instagram but not YouTube.
Yeah.
There are very few who are doing YouTube and not Instagram.
Yeah.
It's
So
usually both
do
or
you
just
think, But there
Instagram.
are more people on Instagram, right? Compared
Yeah.
to YouTube. So do you think like there's a gap that...
Content creators.
Yeah. Do you think there's a gap that, you know, like a lot of people can fill in by coming on YouTube?
Definitely. And I think now people are. Even I was not somebody who was doing YouTube. I started with Instagram only, and then when Shorts came, which is now this year, is when I started YouTube. So I think now people who have a little bit of presence on Instagram are moving towards YouTube, but rarely is it the other way around.
Okay.
Unless there are people who've been doing YouTube since years, of course they are there.
Like the
but
Jake
the new
Pauls and
people,
Logan
yeah, all
Pauls.
the biggies who've just been there
Yeah.
from the beginning. But for people who are starting off now, usually start off with Instagram. It's also a little bit easier to create content on Instagram. Like,
That's true.
for me also,
That's
to edit a YouTube video takes much longer to edit a whole vlog. Even a short, to upload it somehow is just a little more complicated than, like, Instagram is just easier.
You can do it, easily. That's true.
So I think that is one struggle that
Tell me about
people-
money as well, no? On YouTube and Instagram.
So
Difference.
both, I mean, of course, Instagram as a platform doesn't pay you.
Yeah.
YouTube, if your channel is monetized, pays you. But in India, the amount is pretty low.
Hmm.
Especially for shorts, you get paid very less. And even
You know, I thought it was like YouTube pays you in dollars if your
Yeah.
account is monetized. So
Yeah.
when you convert it, there will be like a good conversion ratio, but it's still very less.
no, because you're getting $1 for a million views. I'm just
Right.
giving a random
Yeah, yeah.
number. That's like $80.
Exactly.
So it's nothing. So even though it is in dollars, but the amount of dollars is very low.
Yeah.
And for long format videos, it's slightly higher because your watch time is slightly higher in that. But even then in India, it's very less. And also they cut a certain number of tax and all of that.
Oh,
so
fuck.
it's mainly if you're a big channel who's getting millions of views, you make good money. And I mean, no, because I'm not there. I'm not in the millions. So I don't know how the bigger people
Yeah.
are doing. But for me, it's very less. And brand collabs, you get paid.
If you have 200k followers on YouTube right now, which you do, and you have, like, for example, you have 200k followers on Instagram as well. Can you tell me about brands, how much they would want to pay you?
I think YouTube does pay slightly higher than Instagram.
Can you give like a percentage?
I think the thing is, Instagram, you're very easily replaceable, because if you are quoting a high budget, there'll be someone who, with the same following, who'll do it in lesser. YouTube also, I'm sure that happens, but the number of creators are slightly lesser, or maybe people who are there are not as known.
Yeah.
So even like agencies have now started reaching out to me and they've come across my profile now. But until now, I was not really anywhere. So it's difficult to be recognized. But once you are, and if they like you, then brands come to you.
That's
so I think
for
YouTube
YouTube.
pays a little higher, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it makes more sense, even if you're posting reels on Instagram, to
Hmm.
also open a YouTube account
Yeah.
and just post shorts.
Just repurpose your content if you don't want to
Exactly.
create more. Like, of
Exactly.
course, if you can create more, great. But I am only repurposing. I've not
Hmm.
made anything apart from one long format video, which I did as a giveaway on YouTube. All my shorts are just reels that I've posted.
Exactly,
It's nothing
right.
new that I've done.
But I don't know, people are dumb or something,
Yeah.
or are they
I
like
think it's
just
just
lazy?
the time and effort and lazy,
Yeah.
and probably they don't know the value in YouTube. And I also
Fair.
think YouTube is one platform that will not go away.
Yeah.
Instagram, it's my thing, but YouTube is one thing that's been there since the beginning and is still there. Facebook had a phase, it went away. Instagram is now, of course, at the top. Maybe it'll go, maybe it won't. I don't know.
wonder
TikTok
that.
went away.
TikTok went away in India, but like
Yeah.
it's a big thing
Big
abroad.
thing abroad, definitely.
But I sometimes wonder what's next after Instagram.
Yeah.
Like people will get bored eventually, right?
yeah, they will.
Yeah. So
and then there'll be a new.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. You used to do a corporate job, right? That you mentioned. You used to work in a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
What was that job? Why did you quit? And what made you want to become a creator? Because obviously that also has a huge role to play.
It does actually. In fact, so I used to do influencer marketing itself for a big beauty brand, and I used to do influencer marketing before that also for another brand.
Right.
So I was doing this for a good 3 years anyway.
Damn.
Yeah. And I wanted to quit this job almost regardless because I didn't like the culture there at
Right.
all. And my plan was to quit the job and then see what I want to do
Find something else.
next, probably get another job or something. But before I even decided to quit, like I was thinking about it, my contents kind of started picking up a little bit. Instagram was still there, but my YouTube started picking up. So I was like, okay, now I have one more thing to bank up on.
Right.
And then when I left, the timing of it was so perfect. I started getting a little bit of brand collabs just then. I remember I was serving notice, and in my last week I got 2 collabs, and I was like, yes. And I remember that even then, I don't know if I should be saying this, but those 2 collabs paid me higher than my salary. So I was like, okay, this is a sign, I'll take it. And I took it. And
I was actually wanting to ask you that how much of...
I mean, I was getting paid very badly at my previous job.
that's-
That's why. It's not that I got paid a lot by the brand collabs, but that place was not paying well.
Right.
And but even then, compared to having a 9 to 5, so right now I see it as how much effort I'm putting in. So if I have to make one video, I'm spending 1 day on it, right? So my time is 1 day.
Yeah.
And whereas I would spend, say, 15 days or 20 days to get that out of a job.
Got it, yeah.
So even though it's not...
Opportunity cost is
Yeah,
much more.
exactly. So I can do 100 other things in my free time.
True.
So that way I think it makes a lot of sense. But of course, the frequency of the collabs and all is much lesser. So it's not like I'm getting a lot.
What did you learn in influencer marketing that you kind of used for this?
I actually did. I feel it was so important for me to be on the
Tell me
other
some
side.
insights.
Yeah. So I understand firstly now how the brand thinks. And I've worked in 2 different brands who think in completely opposite ways.
Okay, can you give an example of the industry? Don't mention the brand name.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So
yeah.
2 brands from the beauty industry,
Okay.
let's say. I'm giving an
Yeah.
example. One brand would only approach beauty influencers who are familiar in that space and promote brands in that space. Whereas the other brand would take a completely opposite approach where they would not go to any beauty influencers because what they feel is that influencer is promoting 10 beauty brands a month.
Exactly.
So then their brand is getting lost in it.
Yeah.
So they will approach creators like me who don't post about beauty and I say a dance creator or fitness or anything
Correct.
which is not in that space because
Like
then
do
they
something
are
completely opposite to gain
completely
attention.
opposite because then you get that attention and they would focus more on things like the engagement rate is high, the male female, so the female ratio needs to be high in the person's audience
Yeah.
because the brand is female centric.
True.
So just how the brand thinks is, and of course every brand thinks differently. So I've kind of got that. I've gotten multiple approaches to understand how they think.
Right.
That is one thing. Then I've also kind of understood what a brand's budget would be for somebody with a certain following. So I know approximately how much to quote. I still am figuring it out honestly because it's very varying.
But do you have an approximate figure that you can give?
Yeah, just basically what the brand wants when you're creating their content, how they want you to place their content. Of course, again, this also changes from brand to brand, but a general thing you understand.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like these things were pretty important for me. And okay, also something like, so brands also really smart, right? They will try to get the most out of you. So say now tomorrow they tell me to make one video, and then they'll tell me, say it's a good well-known brand. They'll say, we'll post your reel on our page and give you visibility. Now this, for somebody who's new, will think, wow, I'm getting posted by the brand and I'm getting visibility on it. But actually what they're doing is they're taking your content rights and they're using it for perpetuity. They are taking your video and they can promote that video, they can run ads on it, they can do anything. So they are kind of taking content rights.
Yeah.
Now ideally you're supposed to charge them for this, because you're making them content which they are getting, say, for free, or they are just paying you for the reel that you're posting on your page. But that's separate. If they are using your content, they need to pay you more for it.
Fuck, dude, I also given content rights to someone.
No, so technically now this is something you learn by being in the space, and I would have learned it eventually down the line.
I've learned it now.
Yeah, so, and brands are really smart. They frame it like that, like, hey, you will get visibility on our page. But what they're doing is they're taking your content. So just things like this, I understood by being on the other side of it, because we were actually taking rights and getting content for free that we were not paying for and running ads on it. But actually that's not fair.
Yeah.
You need to charge for it. So now when a brand comes to me and tells me we want to give you visibility, I'll be like, I don't need your visibility. You give me the money.
Yeah, that's true. Now you don't, but
now I know.
Fuck.
So even when you do a collab, for that matter, I used to first just quote my usual, like if somebody would ask me for a reel, I would post the same. But if it's a collab reel, now people charge higher, because they are, if I'm doing a collab reel with you, you are getting exposed to my audience.
Right.
So in a way, you are getting access to an audience that is not yours.
Yeah.
So technically I should be charging for that also. Now see, that is something, it's a very personal choice.
Yeah,
if you want to, if you feel that you're benefiting from the collab also, you won't charge extra.
Yeah.
But for somebody who's collaborating at a 1 million with a 10K person, why will he do it?
Yeah,
He doesn't, he's not getting
sense.
anything out
So
of it.
it should vary, right?
It depends from your,
Right.
from
Got
deal to
it.
deal. But just things like that are things that I understood by being on the other side of it more than I would have understood here also.
But you would have
just take
eventually,
longer.
yeah. So those are some insights that you have. Damn, bro, you paid attention on your job.
Of course, I was there for a couple of years.
Anyway, yeah, thank you for figuring the algorithm for me.
I haven't figured out the algo yet.
Yeah, but you've
me.
proven something. So, like, I think people can follow that advice also. Let's come to dance now. Do you have any plans, firstly, for the person who's creating dance? You can only, like, create dance for a, like, certain number of years, right? What after dance and what beyond social media for dancers?
I mean, so there are a lot of content creators who started off years ago and now have started their own brands, or there are so many people who started young and now have then started their brand. Now they are mom bloggers. So you can,
like, they do everything. They create a brand, everything, and then they just. Is it easier for you to start a business later on, or just studios and everything, using your brand name?
I think it should be slightly easier. If I had to start a brand, I think it would be slightly easier.
Okay.
Because you already established something.
Yeah.
So I would say I want to start a brand which is related to dance in some way. I maybe start, athleisure, something.
Yeah,
so it's a
big
little
industry.
connected to me. So it would be a little easier.
Got it.
Same with studio. Because I've been in the dance space, people know that and would, like
Want
a
to
Shakti
come.
Mohan has her own studio.
Yeah.
So, things like that. Then there are many possibilities of things.
No, so a lot of people do that, right? I mean, they build a brand for 10 years, start up a business, use the platform and everything to just gain sales and all.
Yeah.
Like, even like I was telling you about Kim Kardashian as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is what she did.
That whole family.
Dude,
is
yeah.
doing exactly
I mean,
this.
yeah. So just have a following. I don't know from where did they get the following, but now they have the following, invest in businesses, build them up, and then just sell it off. And that's like $1 billion thing that they do.
And they are huge, of course. In
Yeah,
their
they are
space.
huge.
And people who love them now. Kylie's cosmetics is
It's
crazy. People like it sells out in minutes.
Yeah. So can you, like, in a nutshell, someone who can create like dancing videos and everything, they can like come up and then they can start doing other things as well, which is what even you're doing right now. Create a brand over a couple of years.
Correct.
And use that platform and that image or whatever you've built to
In a way,
channel
you
it.
are the brand.
Yeah,
right
you are
now.
the brand,
Yeah.
and you just channel it in a way to create businesses or
Correct.
invest in businesses and build them
Yeah.
up. Or like in your case, you want to start a studio, right? So just
Yeah.
start studios and everything,
Yeah,
right?
or anything for that matter.
Yeah.
Even if you don't start a business, you continue what you're doing, but then you turn it around basis your life. Like you become a mom blogger. Kim
Yeah.
now posts about her children.
Yeah.
So you can always do what you're doing also, but you keep up with
Just
your
switch it up.
actual life.
Right.
And people who are actually invested will watch.
Okay, now tell me this: if you had to choreograph a video or anything like a dance format, you have unlimited resources and everything. Where would you do it, and what would it look like? What would you want to do?
That's actually tricky.
Yeah. No money. You can create a Mr. Beast
I can
kind of
do
video.
anything.
Anything.
Do I have artists also?
Everything, dude. Whatever you want.
I don't know.
Imagine you're like a Kim K for dancers.
So I've actually not even done a lot of choreographies yet. I'm trying to create because in fact people have been asking me.
Yeah. No, so
But
it's your next
if
step,
I-
right?
yeah,
So that's
it
why I'm
is.
asking you this.
I'm just trying to think of what my
Yeah.
dream would be. I feel like it would be my dream to do some really big concert like a Beyoncé, like choreograph for
Oh.
somebody who's so big in their space, and also I love her as a dancer. So maybe choreograph for her, and then of course because you said there's no like problem with resources, I'll make it as grand and huge
Right.
as
So
I can.
a Beyonce and a concert for Beyonce with dancing.
or
and
maybe a music video.
Right.
Actually, yeah, maybe a music video.
But
over
music
a
videos are
concert.
limited, right? Like in terms of reach, at least. Like a concert is more memorable than a music
That's
video.
true, but no, I mean, I feel like, in fact, a music video is eternal. It'll always be there.
Huh.
For a concert, also, people who are there, of course, it'll be
Yeah,
there for
it
them.
is like you
but
want to create a memory or you want to create a video that's in
both,
the
I
internet.
think.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Just do a concert poster on YouTube.
Yeah, or that.
And
That would
okay,
be
so
a
the
music video
celebrity
in
also
itself.
would be
Yeah, I mean, at the
Beyonce.
top of my head,
Beyonce.
she's who came to my...
Really?
Yeah, I mean, she's queen.
Bro,
Come on. You can't say no.
what's the thing with Beyonce?
Have you... Am I the only one who has this reaction?
Yeah. I mean, bro, I tried to listen to her music, but I was like...
Have you seen her move?
Yeah.
Have you seen her age and have you
Yeah.
seen the way she moves?
So-
You're saying 40, you can stop dancing. Look at that woman.
Yeah, but I think she's also a part of Illuminati.
I know this logic, and if she is, good for her.
So I think she
I've
has
heard
different
this.
powers and all
Yeah,
that.
but it's clearly working, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you worship Satan, everything will work in your
That's true.
life. Okay.
I'm not going down that road.
Okay, fair. So now tell me about the struggles as well
Of being a content creator?
of being a dancer. We spoke about one.
Yeah. So I think firstly, something like where you're a dancer, you constantly have to be active. Physically, it requires a lot for you to
Energies.
do. Everywhere else, of course, there are many other places also where you have to be physically active. Sports and everything. But people who are doing a job are usually using their head a lot.
Yeah.
But physically, they are on a desk.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, it has to be
Constantly
constantly.
moving.
So if I'm sick, like
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah,
then
like
I just can't do
you're
anything,
sick
right?
a
So
lot
you're
of time.
almost paralyzed
Right.
for that time. So I think that is one thing I really struggle with. And also, I can't be the same level of active or have the same level of energy every day. Some days I'm just not in the
And
mood
you think
to.
it's visible in the videos?
No,
the
so if I'm
energy
not
levels?
really feeling that good,
Yeah.
I don't
Acha,
do
you
a
don't
video.
do it.
Or
Okay.
or sometimes I do go to a class. Recently I went for a class where I was really not well and I was sick. But for me, when I enter a studio, I forget everything. I
Okay.
forget I have a fever. I forget everything. So I usually just manage, and you won't be able to tell until I tell you. Unless, of course, I'm really sick.
Right.
And then, of
Yeah,
course, I
yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah. That's why I think the physical effort. Then the consistency of creating something every day.
Yeah.
That is number 2, of course. And I think apart from that, it would just be to, like, sometimes I have a creative block if I want to create some choreography by myself. I don't post a lot, but I'm usually at home grooving, freestyling and
Right.
doing something and creating something. And sometimes it comes to me naturally when I just play a song, and sometimes nothing comes.
Huh, that
Sometimes
happens
it's
with a lot.
blank.
Yeah.
With every kind
Yeah,
of art,
yeah,
I think.
that
It's not
happens-
just dance.
yeah.
It happens with everything. So I think these are the main
These three
things that
things are
I
there.
struggle with the most.
Okay. And do you think like, so there are a lot of Indian art forms also, right?
Yeah.
And dancing, in terms of dance. And a lot of people struggle with the same things that I've seen.
Yeah.
You know, that you spoke about, right?
Every art form, not just dance. I feel
Yeah.
if you're creating music, you're doing any kind of
Anything.
thing, you
Yeah.
will have a block at some point.
Okay. Now tell me about some interesting perks that you've had as a dancer, after being a dancer and a content creator.
Yeah, I would say I've got more perks after content more than dance. First, you get a lot of free things. You get a lot of free
Bro,
products.
what's the weirdest free thing that you've gotten?
No, nothing weird. You just
Nothing
get
weird?
products. I mean, they ask you before sending it. So if it's weird, you just say no.
Acha, oh, they ask you?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck,
Because
dude.
they
So you
ask
do
for your
you-
address, right? To send you products. at
But
home.
I don't know, they ask you like, if you want this, can we send it to you? And
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
So
they
whatever
do
you ask
that.
for, they give it to you?
Usually they'll tell you, hey, can we just send you a few products from, say, this is our brand, can we send you products? And they say okay. Otherwise, sometimes they'll be like, pick 3 products and whatever you want. And
Nice.
so that way you get a lot of free things
Sorted,
for sure.
bro.
And all you have to do is like post a story or something. But yeah, to that point when I have so much skincare that I don't have that much skin to use it on. So I'm like, don't send me more products, please. I'm like
Bro,
distributed to
skincare
friends
is the
and
biggest.
family because
Skincare is the biggest market that
yeah,
target.
it's huge. And I'm not even a beauty
Yeah,
focus influencer, but
Influencer.
so much skincare, beauty, and like
Right.
makeup. It's a lot. Clothes and all also you get, of
I
course.
think that
but
works for them because a lot of guys want to watch pretty girls. So they'll want to watch that video.
Maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
you know that's true.
I mean, I guess.
What else?
Other perks is, I think, dream meals. I'm going for a free cruise this weekend.
Where?
It's in Mumbai only.
Okay.
And it's like, I'm not saying the name and all, but there's some artists performing and stuff. But I'm hoping in future a lot more free travel, but or just travel with.
If you want to travel, where would you want to go? Like free?
If I want to travel, I want to go to so many places.
Name one.
But one is Greece.
Fuck, I
I've
have the
been wanting
same
to
answer.
go. Are you
dude.
serious?
Yeah.
I want to go to Greece since forever. It's been at like my top of my list. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just.
You
a
think you
place.
just approach a brand now, you'll get it like. for
I mean,
free.
eventually, I'm hoping it'll happen on its own. Right
Yeah.
now, I'm not getting free travel at all. But I know creators who are much bigger and are going to Maldives 5 times a year.
Yeah,
so
I don't know what's the thing
Maldives, though,
with
everyone is
Maldives and
going.
creators. I don't know Indian creators
Because
and
a lot of hotels are collaborating with
Indian.
Indian creators, and also a lot of Indians, I think, go to Maldives.
Yeah.
So their market is very big in India.
Okay,
So I think they hit.
that's the sweet spot for them.
I think that's why they target Indian influencers. I'm sure there are even others who go, but
No, not true,
a
but
lot of Indians, right?
yeah,
They
exactly.
go all the time.
And I read about this, but I didn't like understand why Maldives in particular. But now
Yeah,
it
I'm
makes sense.
assuming. I
No, yeah, it
think
makes
it's that
sense.
they get a big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now tell me what's next for you.
So what's next for me? Well, I'm hoping to build onto what I'm doing right now.
Build an
And
audience. Bigger audience.
Build on an audience is one thing, but also build on myself. Like do better in dance, do more things related to it. Maybe because a lot of people have been telling me to start teaching. That is something I'm considering.
I think you should. I think it's a good market to explore.
Yeah,
to be
I know.
honest.
I've
Choreography.
been thinking about it too, but it's something I feel like will come to me
Naturally.
when the time is right. I don't want to force it.
Yeah,
so
don't force.
when
You
it-
don't need to force it.
Yeah,
that's the
so
thing.
when I feel it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But so yeah, just build on that. Hopefully, even dance, I feel like there's so much more that I want to do and
Like
learn.
what?
I don't think just very basic things about technique that I want to work on, things like my flexibility that I want to work on. I don't think I'm where I want to be at all.
Okay.
And in fact, if you won't know this, but I am so particular about the videos I put out, in the sense there are so many videos that I've put out that I've planned to not put out because
Me too.
I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
According to my dance standards in my head, they are not good at all.
True.
But then my friends see that video and they're like, you are crazy, you have to post this like now. There was one video that I didn't post for 2 years, and then I posted it because my friend saw it and was like, are you crazy? It hit 1.2 million. So it's just things like that in my head. Things are
I think you're
not good
very
enough.
concerned about perceptions as well.
No, I'm actually not concerned about perception at all generally.
Then why don't you like?
But
to?
I'm a perfectionist. It's
Okay.
a problem.
Okay.
So if there's 1 or 2 steps that I think I could do better, I decide that I will do this again and I will do it better.
Right.
And then sometimes I do it again and then it's better. Sometimes
it doesn't
don't do
happen.
it again
Yeah,
and then
that's
I
true.
don't post the video.
Right.
So that way I'm very and also I'm particular about certain things. Like I'm particular about dance. I won't be this particular about a fashion video because I'm not that bothered by it.
Got
But this
it.
is something that's so close to my heart that I
Yeah.
want it to be perfect at all times. And I do workshops usually. So all my videos that you see on Instagram, I have learned that routine in 1.5 hours and then I'm doing it. So it's very difficult to grasp that
Got
much
it.
that fast. If
Yeah.
I do the same thing again 3 days later, I'll be a little better.
Fair. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think it
so-
makes sense for you.
Yeah.
I have a perception problem.
No, in fact, I'm like my friends tell me sometimes you need to care a little more about what you're doing and how you're doing it, and I'm just like, I can't. I just want to be
Really?
myself and be how I am. It's okay. People can judge me. If
I
they
think that's why
want.
people like you also. Though.
I don't know. I don't know if they've seen that much of it also. But in general, I'm saying not even on social media. Just when I'm with my friends, if we're going out somewhere, if it's a casual place, I'll show up in track pants and a crop top and in a bun, and my friends are all fancy and they'll be like, "Can you put in more effort?" I'm like, "This is good. I am happy with this."
So you
But it's
put in
very
efforts
moody.
today, bro.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Today I'm in a mood to put effort, I'll put effort.
Okay.
But if I'm not in the mood, I won't put it. It's really more on how I'm feeling that day.
Fair.
So I'm not that bothered by perception, but I'm a perfectionist when it comes to work that I care about. If I don't care about the work, it's okay.
No, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think it's good also in a format where you actually have to like do creative works.
Yeah.
I think it's good to be a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Not always, but most of the time.
Like sometimes I even get a brand collab, and supposing they've edited it, the brand might be happy with it, but I will be like, no, I want this to be done better. I feel like I have a vision. So even with my editor, it's like I wanted to be my vision of how I seen the video in my head, and I'm not talking about just dance. I'm saying like a vlog also. And he might do something. If it's different and better, I have no problem with it. I'll go ahead. But if it's not up to my mark of what I think,
Self-critical.
then then I'll just be like, this can be better, and I know it because I can also edit it better.
Fair.
Like, you know,
fair.
the edit that's in my head was really bad. I could edit better. So then I'm like, this is not okay.
Okay, so you do it.
I edit most of all my reels and all, I only edit.
Huh.
And even other
Long
things.
form.
But yeah, sometimes I will take it up myself and do it if nothing.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
That's
I enjoy
good.
editing also, actually. I really
A
enjoy
lot of
editing.
people don't.
I-
I hate.
Now I'm getting a little sick of it because I've been doing it so
Yeah.
much. But when I started off, I was more excited about the editing than the creating.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it.
I heard I've met people who love creating. It's fine, but when it comes to editing, they just become so lazy and laid back that's why they get delayed in
Yeah,
posting, and
happens.
the consistency just fizzles
I think it
out.
happens after time. Now it's happening to me.
Yeah.
Now I can feel because if you're creating every day and editing every day, it gets too much.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if I have to edit a video once a week, I love it. I really enjoy.
Once a
Yeah.
week is fine for you because it takes one day, I
Yeah.
feel. Right? Okay, fair. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for
I had a
having
fun
me.
time with you.
Yeah,
You
me
know,
too.
got to learn a lot as well about dance and everything about influencers in general.
I'm glad.
So yeah,
I
it
don't
was a
know
good
how
time.
much, how right or wrong I've been. I've just spoken
No, for the-
completely from my experience.
For the first podcast, you did, I think, pretty well. So yeah.
Yeah, this is my first.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.